work for the someone who threatens my family. You don't have to do business with you.
It's a very good point. Welcome. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Oh man, I'm so excited to have you, brother. Welcome to another episode of One on One with Courtney Starks. I am Courtney Starks, and joining me today is the founder and owner of Thirlkill Marketing Agency. Give it up for Mr. Rashad himself, everybody. Mr. Rashad, brother, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling awesome. Tonight, final episode of Snowfall.
Oh,
Ready to kick back, man.
so it was so crazy that you said that. The first thing I was going to ask you is, were you a Snowfall fan and how you felt about the series coming to an end? But I got my answer.
That's right. I'm a fan.
So I won't keep you long then because we got a show to watch now, don't we?
That's right. That's right.
But let the viewers know a little bit about who Rashad is.
Okay, no problem. First and foremost, I want to thank you, Courtney, for having me on your show today. I want to thank everyone out there that's listening to the show. You could have been anywhere else, getting ready for snowfall, whatever the case may be, but you're here with us today.
Come on.
So, yeah, man, moving on. I just want to, I wanted to come to your show. I wanted to tell viewers out there I'm looking for more people that are interested in a community of growth. A little bit about my background is I am a marketer. I am the owner of Thirlkill Marketing Agency, and I have just started. I would call it a movement or a community, a
Yeah.
brand that's titled Millionaire by Morning.
Come on. Come on.
And what Millionaire by Morning stands for is I know that me and a lot of people from my generation has dealt with so much. We're constantly trying to climb and get over a certain hill
Yeah.
and really trying to climb up a mountain.
Yeah.
So Millionaire by Morning, what it basically stands for, man, is if you can get up that next morning, you have a chance. If you're on this side of the ground, man, hey, it's no telling what could happen that next day. So that's my message, that's my ministry, and the whole reason being is the way that I grew up, the way that I came up.
Yeah.
You know, I have a story to tell.
And it is so inspiring. It gave me chills reading up about your story. Many people, even myself, right? Many people sometimes run away from that part of their lives, right? Because they don't feel like people are hearing them, or they don't feel like reliving that story. But a lot of times, and not just a lot of times, most times, that story is meant to help somebody else cross, to give somebody else hope. So I definitely want to just kind of jump a little bit back to that time because it was tumultuous. And I just want you to kind of talk about it. Tell the people just what you went through to get here and be able to talk about it now.
Well, I don't know, you know, if people believe in astrology, and I don't know, you know, how it happened, but you know how they say a cat has 9 lives?
Yeah.
I'm a Leo. So
Come
I don't
on.
know if that has anything to do with it or whatever.
My man said
I
a
tell
cat
you
got
what,
9 lives, but I'm a Leo. You better stand up and tell these people you a Leo.
man, straight up, man. So I don't know if that tied in somewhere, but I can say that I've been blessed um, to make it out of quite a few near-death experiences.
Yes.
I'll put it that way.
Yes.
And it would take my mother to tell you and my grandmother to tell you, because they seen it from when I was a youth, and I wouldn't be able to tell you. I
Yeah.
didn't know that I was going through these certain things. I didn't
Yeah.
know that I was going through, commas and comas, and not, being able to wake up at certain times, and
Yeah.
being being just a sickly child, being
Mm-hmm.
a sickly kid,
Yeah.
asthma. And then by the age of 6 or 7 years old, I was ran over by a vehicle. Vehicle comes speeding down the street, run me over. I wasn't supposed to make it up from that.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm still a young man,
Mm-hmm.
and here comes migraine headaches.
Oh
And
man.
I don't know if you've ever had a migraine headache as an adult,
Mm.
but to have a grown man, those type of pains as a child,
Yeah.
like it's hard for me to even speak on it now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I hear it
That's
in
how
your
much
voice.
pain it was, physical
Yeah.
pain. So, but through the grace of God, all of that kind of changed, and I made it through all of that. So of course, growing up, I experienced the growing pains of being in junior high and
Yeah.
high school. So along came, I'm from Fort Worth, Texas, and
Mm-hmm.
back when I grew up, Fort Worth, Texas was the murder capital.
Mm.
So it was kind of hard to even go outside. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Um, but there was a time span that I made it through, and got through all of that, and eventually I ended up going to college, and I was always a creative, and I
Mm.
end up starting a record label, and
Yes.
through the record label, um, actually dropped out of college and received a record deal.
And
Um,
rapped
I was a rapper.
and became a rapper.
I became a rapper, and we got to the point, to me and my friends and the record label. We got to the point that we signed a record deal, and as we signed the record deal, um, like a week before everything
Mm-hmm.
was to be signed with the major label, it
Yeah.
all came crashing down, and
Oh wow.
pretty much everybody went to the feds. Everybody that was at the
Yeah.
top. So that happened.
Mm.
And from that point, I kind of moved into I figured out that my love was kind of for the marketing and the selling
Mm-hmm.
aspect.
Yeah. So did you
So,
get to a, I'm sorry to cut you off, but there's a gap there that I want to kind of talk about it and fill it in, right? We speak about just kind of health battles, health scares, going through a time in your life where you almost died, right? You almost died. And at what point were you in a place or a state where you were like, where's my life going to go, right? You're rapping,
yeah.
you have this career, you dropped out of college, you have all of these past things. What was that pivotal point for you to make the change and then want to transfer over to marketing?
So, man, I can put a finger on it.
Mm.
I was really, self-medicating. I was drinking a lot, and I
Yeah.
found that out. It was a point to where it changed so fast, and I didn't really notice it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of, I had got to a point to where I thought that I was supposed to be, and all of a sudden I became not only did we lose the record deal, I became a single parent.
Mm.
And doing that, I can looking back on it now,
Yeah.
I fell into a depression, because that's the dream that I
Yes.
wanted.
Yes.
And all of a sudden,
It was
overnight,
gone.
it was gone. I wasn't able to be out at night. I had a child I had to care for. I was a single father. I
Yeah.
had a child I had to care for. I couldn't go to the clubs at night. That's everything. I couldn't get out and hustle. That's
Yes.
everything that I was used to doing. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what made me. That's what described me. That was
Right.
my persona.
Yes.
And one evening I found myself on a railroad track.
Mm.
So one evening, and this is when I say I can point to it because I know that that's the evening that I was able to get free. And that evening I was at my home to where I ran like a little casino at my home. And
Yeah.
I know that I was, drinking a lot
Mm. Yes.
um, there. So then when everyone left, not only, you know, I left too. I didn't want to be there alone. I left
Right.
too and continued, my
Mm.
drinking. And just so happened, my next door neighbor called me and said, "You might want to get home." It was 2ish o'clock, something like that.
Yeah.
And I was at a strip club and she
Mm.
called and I'm still trying to live my,
Right.
that
Right.
same life. She called and said, "You might want to get home. They say that it's going to be a snowstorm tonight." I'm in Texas. That don't normally happen.
Right.
She's looking out for me, my son's babysitter. I gets in my truck and I head home.
Mm.
I go a back way, and going through the back way, I've been driving this way all my life.
Mm-hmm.
Over the weekend, they did some construction.
Oh.
Now they put up a barricade, but they didn't put on the orange signs or
Right. So
whatever.
you can't see.
I can't see it. So instead of going straight, instead of curving where
Mm.
you could see it in the daylight, I ran straight through the barricade.
Oh my God.
So I run through the barricade. I crash on a railroad track,
Mm.
and it's crazy because I've gone this way my entire life.
Yeah.
So I'm out. I'm crashed out on a railroad track, and I'm drunk. I'm totally intoxicated.
Mm.
So at that point, I say, you know what? Forget it.
Right.
I'm here. I'm here, man. Whatever
If it is
happens,
what it is,
happens.
right?
It is what it is. You know what I mean? I had a guy from my neighborhood. I went to sleep in my truck,
Yeah.
stuck in the snowstorm,
Oh my God.
in my truck on the railroad track. And I had a friend from the neighborhood passing by at about 4 o'clock a.m. and came up to me, my truck, and came and said, they call me Thump. Thump, he knocked on my door. "What the hell you doing?"
Oh my God.
So it was him and his mother, matter of fact. And I woke up, check out what day it was. It was Christmas Eve. So
Oh.
I had all of my sons, and I had a daughter too. I had all of their gifts in the back of my truck. I
Mm-hmm.
gave him all of the gifts right then and said, "Well, if I don't make it out here, just get these to my children."
No way.
So when he left with all the gifts, I got back in my truck and I went back to sleep.
Oh,
I was
no.
really, I guess at that time, at that time, I
You
I
didn't
was really
care.
giving it
Yeah.
up. I didn't care. I didn't care. So here's the crazy part. The police came.
Mm.
When the police came, what I realized in hindsight, they didn't take me to jail. I was inebriated as you can be. They
Yeah.
didn't take me to jail. They told me, if you don't have this truck off of this railroad track, there's a train due to be here in an hour.
Mm.
So what they did do is they called a tow truck or whatever.
Yeah.
They called a tow truck, but they left. My homeboy came back, and that's who gave me a ride to the house.
Mm.
So I ended up being at the house that morning. My tow truck, my truck was there. I hit the railroad truck so hard that I broke the whole frame
Oh my
in my truck.
gosh.
I wouldn't have been able to move anyway.
Right.
So at that point, that was my turnaround point.
Yeah.
That was when I said, okay, maybe you should, try to look into doing something different.
Mm-hmm.
And letting this past go, letting this hurt go. Even my father used to drive that truck, and I kept that truck in memory of him.
Mm-hmm.
So even maybe letting his truck go.
Right.
So sometimes, man, you just have to turn the page,
And
you just
see what
have
that
to,
other page looks like. Yep.
yeah, yeah, you eventually have to turn the page, man, because there's another chapter,
Mm-hmm.
but that one could be closed, and then you don't want to get caught up in it, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I realized, and that's when I started up my business and got a job,
Mm-hmm.
regular 9 to 5, and
Yeah.
started doing it right.
It gave me chills because we all have had moments, right? And even in our stubbornness, God sometimes will be like, all right, so he's not gonna listen this way. I'm just gonna get him out. I'm just gonna pull him out of his own mess and hope and pray that he can see what needs to be seen. And I'm honored and I'm thankful that you were able to look at this and go, huh, like life, life will always be life in. That's just what that is. But we have the opportunity, like you said, to change our circumstances. So you decide to go back to school, you're in school, you're doing marketing, all of these things. You're doing traditional marketing. What inspired you or what gave you that bug to want to switch it over to digital?
COVID. No, I'll take that back. It was before COVID. I moved to Florida. And during that time, I was having contracts with different companies through my marketing agency,
Yeah.
and some of those contracts were um, door to door.
Okay.
So I don't know, and it's crazy because that was just like, I don't know, less than 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But well, I still have people knocking on my door, so it's not it's not an
Yeah.
old tradition. But if doing sales, the quickest way to make $100,000 is to go knock on doors, and what I mean by that, I had contracts with DirecTV,
Mm-hmm.
Vivint, and companies like that.
Yes.
I also, I continue to do club promotions. I continue to do traditional marketing with artists and rappers
Yeah.
and singers. But what happened is my last year of college, after I went back to college, the digital marketing came about.
Okay.
And the thing about it is the music industry was even struggling at that time
Right.
because it was really overnight from traditional marketing
To
to
streaming.
digital.
Yeah.
Yes. So I kind of at that point I kind of had to sit down.
Mm-hmm.
That's one point. I don't know many verses out of the Bible, but I do know that there's a point that says sit down. So and that's
Oh
that
my
I
God.
don't know what verse it is, but I know that that's in there. And that's what I did, and that's what I do, and that's what I do a lot nowadays, man. I just kind of sit down and look at it.
Mm.
And if you allow yourself to do that, things will become clear.
Yeah.
Clarity will arrive.
Yeah. I agree.
So that's what I did, man. And I kind of just sat down. And what happened is I took all of that energy, I took the business aspect, and I moved to Florida and kind of wanted to start it up there.
Mm-hmm.
However, Florida is a little different than
Slower.
where I was from.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not knocking on doors down here. I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah.
So that forced me to sit down and start learning digital marketing.
Mm.
And it just so happened that as I was doing that and as I was starting to get these ideas, COVID hit. And it
Yes.
gave me another, 2 to 3 years to focus on it.
Yeah. So, we're in an era right now where digital marketing has kind of taken over, right? Like everybody wants to be a digital marketer. They wake up, they come out the womb and they want to be a digital marketer. And
Right.
for me, it kind of sometimes takes away from the authenticity of an actual person who studied this, who knows what they're doing, who, their ROI on this investment is going to be genuine.
Right.
When people come to you, how could they separate you from somebody else on IG who is nagging them on their inboxes asking to be their digital marketer?
The the digital marketing aspect, and I still do traditional marketing as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I have what's called a marketing mix, right?
Okay.
And when you
Like
say
a
when
tier
they knock on,
package.
what's that?
Like a tier package.
Well, yes, I do have a tier package, but I have, I can hit on certain points. I can tell you when you become a master in in what it is that you do, you can kind of look at a certain situation and be able to tell the outcome of that situation going in,
Yeah.
right? So what I would like to do to everyone that I kind of speak to is say, okay, I know that if you put $1 in, you're going to get $2 out.
Mm-hmm.
I am not going to, and I'm going to show you.
Right.
Put this $1 in, you're going to get $2 out because this is the mix that I have
Mm-hmm.
provided. This is the one that I've tested, and I know that this is going to happen.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to be the one to say if you put $1 in, you're going to get 10 out.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to happen. But I can
Right.
show you because I've done this for so long, and I kind of know. To me, marketing is a science,
Mm-hmm.
and I know this science.
Right.
I put the pieces of the puzzles together.
Mm-hmm.
And not only with that, what I have now is I've created an atmosphere. I created a community that ties those same people that you're talking about now. It's just total digital marketing. Well, I've grabbed the people, those people that are the younger generation, the
Yeah.
influencers was born with a phone in their
Mm-hmm.
hand.
Yeah.
I'm staying away from them. They
Yeah.
know it. They got it. They got it. The people
Mm-hmm.
that I am targeting, the people that I want are the people that grew up with traditional marketing. They grew up seeing billboards. They grew up seeing commercials on television,
Yeah.
flyers, passing out flyers, if you remember that age.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take those people and I
And
want to
convert them.
introduce them, convert them. I want to be the bridge. I'm the
Yeah.
bridge.
Yeah.
So I built a platform that I can show. I have courses available, and I built a platform that I can show these people. You can go from here, traditional marketing to digital marketing.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot to learn.
Yeah.
But I've learned it for you, and I can
Mm-hmm.
show you how to put it into place.
Yeah. Why do you think that people, because I'm guessing we're around the same age, so this generation was before social media kind of became a thing. Why do you believe that we are so stubborn when it comes to bridging that gap over? Because I know for myself, I'm a traditional marketer. I don't mind I'm placing an ad once or twice, but I believe in knocking on doors and one-on-one communication because sometimes it gets lost through this. You understand what I'm saying? Like communication can get lost, verbiage can get lost. I want you to know that I want your business. I want to invest in you. I want you to invest in me. But I want to say that to you. So how can we start becoming more aligned with this digital world because it's not going anywhere, right? Like we got to jump in on it because we can't run from it.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And that's exactly that's my point exactly is I believe that we're so stuck in the old way, and it's not the old way because it still works.
Yes.
If you go out to the mailbox, you're still going to get a flyer in there.
That's right.
Your bank is going to send you something for a new credit card through the
Mm-hmm.
mail, so it still works.
Yes.
But I think that not only does it work, I think that the digital aspect multiplies it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if there's something, if you are, let's say you're a barbecue restaurant, you
Yeah.
can get by with sending your local demographic,
Mm-hmm.
flyers. You can get
Right.
by with that,
But it's
but
only so much, right?
it's only so much you can do, man. And the digital aspect, the video, we
Mm.
don't like. If you're from my generation, we didn't put our business in the street. We
At
was
all.
told totally opposite. So now that's all they do, you
Yes.
know. So even me, when it's time for me to record something, like I know Generation X don't really like to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Be in front of video, tell everybody what you're doing. But it is something that we are going, like you just said, it's not going anywhere. So it's
Yeah.
something we're going to have to get comfortable with.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. It's not that we want to do it. It's the
Mm.
fact that, especially with AI here now,
Yeah.
it's the fact that we have to do it.
Have to. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're dealing with branding, e-commerce, and social media management when it comes to time. Because I once, before my show got picked up and all these great things, I was so frustrated, right? Like I book you or I book your business, and in 2 weeks I want results. But I feel like, especially us, right? We have to be patient. Things are not overnight. How do we kind of relay that message over to our generation where it's like your ROI will make sense? And sometimes you put in $10 and like you were saying, you're going to get 11. You're not going to get 20, but you need to be okay with that success. So how do we start becoming okay with the smaller successes before we get the big ones?
I want to get in front of the camera and show that.
Mm.
So with the whole Millionaire by Morning brand, I have a podcast as well. So I basically show step by step what it is to build $1 million brand. Right. So if you can see that, and I think that's the only way, people have to see it with their own eyes.
Yeah.
And so what I do with the podcast and with my YouTube channel, I'm just showing step by step. I came from the same place you came from, but I can show you, if you start with this smaller step, this is where you can get to if you trust the process.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that's the only way that people are going to learn, because they think this happened overnight for X influencer. You know what I mean? They don't know what they're going through every day. They don't know what a life like that is like. All they know is 9 to 5. That's basically all that we knew.
Yeah.
Or get a second job, 9 to 5, 6 to 10.
That's so true. That is so true. Let's talk about mentorship, right? I love your thing, Millionaire by Morning, because it's possible. And I think that also has to do with the generational mindset of a 9 to 5 is okay, or you can't do both. And I think we're living in a time right now that has shown us more than told us that both can coexist, right? You can work your 9 to 5, there's nothing wrong with that, but you can also invest in your business and make your money. You understand what I'm saying? So how can we start having those mentorships and not so much leaving Pandora's box open, right? You buy a course, you go through the course, and now you're done. Now you got to pay X amount of dollars for another course instead of being there with that person and walk them through the steps. How can people start trusting in that?
That's a good question, man. I think I can only speak on what I'm doing, I guess. And that being mentorship. And, the thing about mentorship is people can mentor and bring along other people as long as they're one step in front of them. So if I take a book and I've read a chapter ahead of you in that book, I can teach you what I know.
Right.
So as long as we can bring each other along in that sense, me personally, what I'm doing at the moment right now, I am planning workshops, seminars, and speaking events. So the website that I am currently building, millionaireByMorning.biz, what it will do is give people the opportunity to not only be coached, they can be coached for a certain mastery. They can be coached for a certain skill.
Yeah.
So if you want to look into becoming a social media marketer or a digital marketer, or which we all have, which I might just go exclusive on, is speaking, telling our story, our testimony.
Right.
So once you get that mastered and you're able to speak and get in front of people, and here I am showing you, okay, I have a platform to show you how to speak. We're going to teach you, you know, the topics you can speak on, and we have the events that you can come speak at, and we have salespeople that's going to call and get you speaking engagements.
Yes.
So that is the way that I think that we can bring people along to say, okay, 9 to 5, 6 to 10, that has been it, but we have another way for you to get that extra money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's based on your experience at a Generation X age.
Yeah.
All you need is experience and to tell people about it.
I agree. And I think to add to that, you also need to have endurance, right? Like the skill can only get you but so far. So I love that your course kind of breaks down all of the workshops, all of the things that are necessary even before you put your skill to work, right? How can you handle A, B, C, D before you get on stage or before you make a video or before you do A, B, C, D? Do you have the endurance to do all of these things? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I definitely love that. If you can jot down or just say 3 things about all that you've overcome, because you're definitely an overcomer and you have an overcomer story, what 3 words would you use to kind of sum up your life and where you are right now?
Oh man. 3 words. Determined. Motivated. And master.
I love that. Master. And I'm going to add a 4th one just because I think you're so dope. Consistent. I think just kind of hearing your story and talking to you and getting to know you, everything that could have stopped you and should have stopped you didn't stop you. You know what I mean? And if that's not what overcoming looks like or consistency looks like, I don't know what else is. You know what I mean? Tell the people where they can find you and what you have coming up where you can support.
Okay. Where you can find me, it totally depends on which version of me that you want.
Come on now, talk to the people.
LinkedIn, I am the professional on LinkedIn. So Millionaire by Morning at R Thirlkill. I am on Twitter at R Thirlkill, # Millionaire by Morning. TikTok, Millionaire by Morning. Instagram, Millionaire by Morning. You guys out there listening, like I say once again, I hope that maybe, you know, I touched you in a certain area. And if you don't have it in you, just like Courtney said, consistency is the key. If you want to join a community, we are building a community to where we hold each other in accountability partners. And, you know, we teach pretty much everything we touched on today: mindset, motivation, meditation, mastery, movement, marketing, and how to get money from all of it.
Come on.
That website is www.millionairebymorning.biz. B-I-Z.
www.millionairebymorning.biz. I'm going to let you guys know right now, just follow it all. We'll tag it when we're done. We'll tag it all because this man has a movement. It's not a hobby. It's a movement. And you guys need to support him just because I said so. Rashad, my brother, it has been a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you for coming and dropping your gems and words of wisdom. And now you're just a part of the family. So you can always come back at any time. We would love to have you. Thank you for being here.
I appreciate it a lot. Thanks a lot for having me today, Courtney.
You're welcome.
Let's see what's happening on Snowfall.
Let's do it. Everybody, this is One with Courtney Starks. I love you for watching. Have a good one.
All right, man.